Greta Thunberg has been named Time magazine's Person of the Year. So do you agree with this year's decision? Where do we sit on it this year, Jane?
Well, listen, I think she's a very, interesting young lady, but at the end of the day, this is people at Time magazine all sitting in a room coming up with what they think is the person of the year. But for me, I think it's really just about her age. I think, yes, I think we're all discussing climate change a lot more, and that's a really good thing. But we're only discussing her because she's 16 years of age. And I think if she was... There's plenty of 36-year-olds that have been saying this for 10 years. So it's that kind of because she's young. But then I also have a problem with the fact that because she's young, it's very hard to criticise her or to criticise her message. Because, personally, I just think she should be in school. But, but I get it. She feels very passionate. But, if every 16-year-old in the world didn't go to school for what they feel passionate about, everything would crumble. But I think her age is what we're celebrating rather than her message, because the message is something that scientists have been saying for quite some time. It's also something that, many world leaders are doing a lot about.
But then for many years, I guess people haven't quite listened to what those messages are. Do you think she's making us listen?
Well, I think she's appealing to a generation, but to my mind, a lot of what she says is scaring the younger generation, which I don't think is particularly a good thing. This whole the planet's gonna end if we don't, do X, Y, or Z. But you can't criticise her because she's a minor, so it kind of shuts down the debate a bit. I think a lot of people that could unpick what she says and argue with it in an intellectual way don't, because then everyone goes, oh, you're bullying a child.
But nobody is arguing or even disputing the fact that we have climate change.
Yeah.
The climate changes. It always has. Oops, my phone's on. Sorry. But I do... Sorry
Sitting on it won't stop it.
I do find that the influence that she has now is quite scary. I'm quite frightened by the fact that everybody seems to think that she is the answer or she's got the answer, because I don't think she has got the answer. I don't think, personally, and this is my view, I don't think there is an answer. It doesn't matter what we do or what they say we have to do. I don't think it's going to make that much difference unless the whole world does it, and it's not going to. But also, I do think that she is being used because she's a child. And I think there are probably really sort of, maybe sinister even, organisations behind her, pushing her, making her bring this message so that somebody else will benefit.
Because there's a big green industry,
There is a massive green industry, and I do think using her as this sort of, bringer of truth, I think is wrong, and I think I agree with you, she should be at school. And I also think that the award is meaningless. Person of the Year by a magazine is just, it's a bit pointless. But the fact that she is out there and everyone seems to be taking her super seriously and you can't criticise, I think is really sinister.
I think that's really interesting, because my idea of how people are thinking about her now is completely the opposite. I think that there's many more people that think in the same way that you and Jane, and actually just talking around the building today, the majority in my small poll seem to completely agree with you guys. I personally think she's a totally extraordinary young woman that's created not a moment but a movement globally, and she has inspired young people to have an opinion, to really consider what state the planet is in, how we are culpable, what we might be able to do to affect change. I know that we all feel powerless in it. It is, and I also agree with your comment, Jane, about scaring people. But I think the urgency with which she puts across she is talking for a generation. My 16-year-old and my 12-year-old have that urgency.
Well, I was going to say, how are the girls with it?
They say to me, I worry about the planet. You know, I mean, you know, we have brilliant scientists telling us that we should. David Attenborough, I mean, you know,
well, that's
we
I will
believe and we trust David Attenborough. You know, the planet is in a state of peril, and she is speaking for that generation. Now,
but a lot of that is to do with the fact there are too many people on it.
Yeah, no, but I'm just talking in relation to this award, and you've just said it's no big shakes, is it? I mean, it's not like she's being handed over a grant. She's not being given money. She's not. This is just a recognition that this is an extraordinary child.
Oh, no, I'm not saying she's not extraordinary.
No, let me just finish. Let me just finish.
Other 15-year-olds wouldn't have had that option to do that.
No, that travels around the world. I mean, you could not give me £1 million to do that boat trip she did over to America. Now, a lot of people have said, well, that was showing off and she should be at school. What about saying, you know, we all the time we complain about young people and about them not being motivated. She's an extraordinary person, whether you agree with climate change or not.
Yeah, no, she is.
So I'm really
I'm not saying she's not an extraordinary person.
No, but that's why I'm pleased she won.
But I'm saying I think that she's been pushed into the spotlight because of her age. What she's saying is nothing that, you know, climate scientists and David Attenborough have not been saying for a very long time.
That is my very point. She's 15. She could be having fun. She loves school.
Well, a lot of 15-year-olds would say she is having fun.
I don't think she's having
she's
fun.
She's not in school. She's on a yacht. She's, you know, hanging out with
I don't think she's having fun, and I don't think that's fair to her. I think that she has a passion, and I think she's following her passion. I get that she's irritating to people, and I get that maybe now the movement needs to choose somebody else because people have switched.
She doesn't irritate me. None of the above. I don't criticise her. She doesn't irritate me. But I'm just saying, I think she's been given this award because of her age.
Because she's extraordinary
not
for
because
her age.
Of... Well,
because she's extraordinary.
But she's getting the attention because of her age.
Absolutely. I think she's a bit of... She is extraordinary, but I think she's been propelled into this position. You know, she was a kid sitting outside her school with a sign. That's how it all started.
Do you not think she talks from an authentic place when she does? I mean,
yeah,
I feel she does.
Of course she does, but do you not think
she
might have been a little bit brainwashed? Just a little bit.
Why do we have to see everything so negative? Why can't this be an extraordinary young person speaking for a generation?
I'm questioning it. I am questioning it. And the thing is, you're not questioning it. Unless you question things, how do you ever get to know what the actual truth is?
Why do we always have to go that
everything
comes from a dark place?
No, because it is.
Why? I don't think she's coming from a dark place. I think she's coming from a place of panic because the world is crashing her.
Well, I'll tell you what, no matter what you kind of think of her maybe as a young person, it is undeniable that she absolutely garners conversation. She creates, opens up a debate.
That's the best debate we've had in ages.
To be fair, it's kind of regarding climate change, because everyone's kind of a bit stuck on what we should be doing. She certainly gets us talking, and for that, she absolutely has done her job.
Do you like her?
I think she's remarkable as well. I do. I mean, I find, like you say, I guess there's lots of teenage girls who'd also like to have the same platform, because I'm guessing your girls were very passionate too.
Well, they wouldn't want to do what she's doing. They're like hanging out with them.
We're definitely listening to her, and we're certainly talking about her here, I'll tell you that much.